Republican Congressman Scott Perry has been asked to turn over documents and sit down with the House Select Committee to discuss his role in Donald Trump's attempt to install loyalist Jeffrey Clark as Attorney General ahead of the January 6th insurrection. And Washington Post reporter Jacqueline Almany told MSNBC's Morning Joe what investigators already know. Take a look.
January 6th attack on the Capitol, it is seeking for the first time information from a sitting member of the Congress. Chairman Benny Thompson sent a letter yesterday to Congressman Scott Perry of Pennsylvania asking him to provide documents and appear for a sit-down interview. The letter states the committee has evidence that Perry had, quote, an important role to play in efforts to install Justice Department official Jeffrey Clark as the acting attorney general during the final months of the Trump administration. Clark then went on to play a key role in Trump's efforts to challenge the election results. Thompson writes in part, quote, Acting Attorney General Rosen and Acting Deputy Attorney General Donahue have provided evidence regarding these issues, and we have received evidence that others who worked with Mr. Clark were aware of these plans. The letter also says the committee is aware of Perry's multiple text and other communications with Trump's former chief of staff, Mark Meadows, including evidence that they communicated over the encrypted app Signal. Jackie, you've been following the committee's work. What else can you tell us about all the efforts to bring some accountability right up to the top in terms of what happened on January 6th?
Yeah, well, first off, my colleague Tom Hamburger and I had confirmed that Scott Perry was, in fact, the lawmaker who did send that text to Mark Meadows that Congresswoman and Vice Chair Liz Cheney read aloud last week to direct Meadows to please check your signal. That immediately, I think, piqued the interest of investigators. But look, this letter was a significant step forward for the committee and for the reporters that have been covering the committee since its inception in July earlier this summer. It's always been a question of how the panel was going to handle getting sitting lawmakers to cooperate with them, as we knew from the very beginning that people like Kevin McCarthy, Jim Jordan, Scott Perry were in touch with the president and his inner circle about the efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 election. But Scott Perry in particular is of interest. We have found through our reporting that he was the leading conduit from the House GOP to the White House in terms of trying to effort the challenge to the 2020 election. And he's been on the mind of congressional investigators really for a whole year now. When the Senate Judiciary Report released their report in October, they cited Perry as someone who was integrally involved with these efforts. They had already gotten evidence that Thompson echoed yesterday, that he was directly pressuring DOJ officials to investigate these various fringe conspiracy theories. He also acknowledged in those interviews with the Senate Judiciary Committee that he was the person that introduced Mark Meadows to Jeffrey Clark, who has also become a central player. So there are so many different pieces that are kind of falling together here. But the big question remains is whether Scott Perry is going to cooperate and how far this committee is going to go in getting a sitting member of Congress to actually comply with this investigation.
The request stops short of a subpoena, the method the panel has used to extract testimony and documents from former Trump administration officials, January 6 rally organizers, and others. Thompson is requesting relevant electronic or other communications from Perry and has requested to meet with him sometime between December 28th and January 10th. A spokesperson for Perry did not respond to a request for comment. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to visit us at rawstory.com. And if you'd like to see more of The Raw Report, please like and subscribe and join others who like their news raw too.